So finally, we don't have 2 game weeks every single week with a midweek weekend, but it doesn't mean the planning stops. We've got game week 24 double game week, game week 25 double game week, and potentially game week 26 being a double game week as well. So we've got to start planning. We've got to keep thinking. Let's get into those game week 24 first thoughts. So let's just have a quick look at my game week 23 team, how we got on before we get into the game week 24 double game week first thoughts. So I actually made no transfers. I didn't quite know what I wanted to do. I knew we were probably going to get game week 24, 25 and maybe game week 26 announcements this week. So I wanted to roll my free transfer to make sure I had 2 free transfers so that I could best plan for that. If you're in the same boat as me, I think we're in quite a strong position, as there are maybe some games going in that we didn't necessarily think would be the case. So definitely having that 2 free transfers is something I'm very happy with. How my team performed this week, so I scored 82 points. Captain Son came in just with a 10-pointer. How he got that extra 2 bonus points added in the last minute, I don't quite know. Salah, Fernandez both finally getting returns. That big Gundogan 13-pointer I was very happy with. Kufal in there with a 6-pointer as well, and a big 9-pointer as well for Martinez in there, splitting the bonus points with Watkins, who also got 9. So very happy with that. It put me back up. So basically the week before I fell from 32k down to 55k, and then I made my way back from 55k up to 35k in that game week. I benched Diaz, who outscored Robertson by 1, but I made the right decisions. It's interesting to see if Mitchell's now got his place back in the Crystal Palace team, but yeah, very happy with how my game week 23 team did. So sadly, my FPL Cup journey has come to an end. So it's been something I've been tracking, enjoying, not really focused my transfers on it, but wanting to do quite well. In game week 22, I did get knocked out of the FPL Cup by 6 points. My opponent had Wan-Bissaka. The week he scored 17. Just a 6-point loss with a player like that doing so well. I got very close to going through, but it wasn't to be. We'll go again next year, but the FPL Cup is just a bit of fun. If you guys are left in it, let me know down below. But yeah, let's keep going with the rest of the season. So the bit we really want to talk about is this game week 24 first thoughts. It's a double game week. We've got 2 double game weeks. There will be a double game week planner video coming out for you guys later this week before the deadline, probably Wednesday evening or Thursday morning, depending on when I record it. But yeah, there will be that, going into a bit more detail about what players I'm really targeting from each team and who has the best fixtures and everything like that. But for me, my potential transfers in this week, the first one, Ben Mee. For anyone who knows, I'm a big fan of Ben Mee. At 4.9 million, he's got great attacking threat in that Burnley team. They've got 2 really nice double game week fixtures and just 4.9 million. They potentially have another double game week in game week 26 as well, which is part of my planning to get a Burnley player in. It's not the best predicted double game week in game week 26, but it's a double game week nonetheless. And with my bench boost there, it will probably be useful just to have that extra 2 points on the bench. So Ben Mee, his attacking threat is definitely a potential transfer in. Next one, we've got Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Now, again, a double game week player. A lot of my potential transfers in are focused around that. He's looked much better, that goal threat. He also got bonus points in the recent game, which is not something we've seen from him, which is very interesting that he's developing his finishing so that he doesn't miss as many chances. So with the upcoming double fixture of Fulham and Manchester City, that second fixture against City is probably a 2-pointer, but Fulham is definitely something I hope that Calvert-Lewin could capitalise on if I decide to bring him in. The next one is James Justin, and now he's always on my list. Him and Stuart Dallas are 2 players who pain me every single week. They cause me to have a red arrow or my green arrow isn't nearly as big. You know, I think I'm doing really well, and then suddenly Justin and Dallas get 21 points combined this week, and it just knocks me back with their ownership being so high. So I need to start blocking them. I've got players like Robertson in my team, and I just don't know why I've got him over either Justin or Dallas. So with the upcoming potential double in 26, Justin will be in my team for that. It's just when along this line that I'll bring him in. The final one is Doucouré of Everton. Now this is an interesting one. He's not that attacking. He did score and get 10 points in the most recent game week. He's just 5.2. I may need some money now that Harry Kane's back, and I want him for the double. So downgrading potentially Harvey Barnes to Doucouré for those double game week in this game week, and then in game week 26 as well, might just be the best way of going about it. Fulham and Manchester City again, like Calvert-Lewin. Not the easiest double in game week 26 as well, but yeah, at 5.2 he could be a real enabler. Looking at that price point, there aren't particularly many players. Maybe Rafinha, maybe Jorginho if he's kept his place, but Doucouré I quite like at 5.2, a bit of a differential in there. In terms of players that will make way, at the moment, Brewster, Robertson, and then maybe Mitchell are the ones that I'm looking at transferring out. So Brewster, of course, I need to upgrade him at some point to prepare for my bench boost. Robertson is just not worth the money at all. It's so infuriating owning him every single week and I'm not getting any points at all. So Robertson will have to make way and is happy to leave my team to get that money, to downgrade him to Justin or someone like that so that I can upgrade Brewster to Kane or something like that. Mitchell, I'm probably going to wait and see now that he's started in game week 23 and Patrick Van Aanholt was taken off at half time. If Mitchell could stay, in that starting lineup, they play Fulham at home and Manchester United potentially at home in game week 26. So I wouldn't have to sell him and he would have a double game week. So we'll wait and see on Mitchell, but Robertson and Brewster are definitely transfer out. But those are my sort of key transfer thoughts ahead of game week 24. So just before I've made any transfers, I know I've got 2 free transfers, so my team will definitely change. This is how I'm lining up for game week 24. So I've currently got 3 Man City players who all have a double game week. I've currently got Robertson and Harvey Barnes as the other one on my bench. Harvey Barnes not looked particularly attacking, out on the left mid rather than that left sort of wing forward we've seen him before. So not particularly pleased with him, so he is benched against Liverpool in the early kickoff of game week 24. I am currently thinking of bringing in at least 1 double game week player. Robertson to a Burnley defender looks like the most likely play for me, which will mean that I will probably bench Mitchell out of my starting 11, although potentially, Bamford or Watkins, but I think it will be Mitchell that drops to my bench. With maybe Loughton, maybe Ben Mee, depending on if I need that extra $500,000. But at the moment, this is how I'm lining up with 3 double game week players. If we have a quick look, I suppose just before that, my captain is definitely going to be on Gundogan. Vice captain's on Cancelo, but I feel like Gundogan, especially if he doesn't play the cup midweek, is going to play both these games. He's got attacking threat. I know he missed a penalty, but he'll probably still be on them. We know what Pep's like. He's showed good form from penalties, so Gundogan is my captain. But in terms of transfers for next week, so this is what my team looks like. I still have $4.5 million in the bank. I could do Brewster up to Calvert-Lewin, for example, but I know that I'm going to want Harry Kane in for that double game week, so that kind of blocks off that, and it means I have to take a -4, sell Bamford if I ever want Harry Kane in for that double game week. So it's probably a defensive transfer is probably what's going to make sense the most for me. So Robertson out, being filled by maybe Loughton or maybe Ben Mee. We'll have to see sort of how it impacts it. Loughton up to 4.5 now, but definitely cheaper than Ben Mee, although there is that attacking threat from Ben Mee. So it's just whether I need that little bit of extra money. I probably will roll the second free transfer depending on whether we get news of the game week 26 doubles or not. If we get news of that before the game week 24 deadline, then I can plan and use my second free transfer, potentially to bring in an Everton player if we know they double in game week 26, for example. But yeah, if we don't get news of the game week 26 double, I will just make 1 free transfer and roll the second one into next game week. But it's definitely that Burnley defender with that strong double game week of Crystal Palace away, Fulham at home. Now, Burnley have been very poor defensively, and actually their numbers, their shots conceded, their expected goals conceded and their goals conceded is not very good. But you've got to expect, if they're going to keep a clean sheet, those next 2 and then that game week 25 against West Brom, if they're ever going to keep a clean sheet, which we know Burnley can do, it's going to be in one of those 3 games. So a Burnley defender, Loughton or Mee, are probably my game week 24 transfers. So yeah, but that's all we've got time for in this game week 24 first thoughts video. I hope your game week 23 went well. Let me know down in the comments how you got on, how many points you went, what's your overall rank now as well. If you have enjoyed, please make sure to like and subscribe, completely free and easiest way to support the channel as always. But those are my first thoughts. As always, any questions that you guys have, drop them in the comments down below or message me over on Twitter and I will do my best to make sure I answer each and every one of you. But good luck when game week 24 comes around if you don't watch any more of my videos, but there'll be plenty more to come, including a live stream before that game week 24 deadline.